what to expect as a director of nursing. All right, and I think it's important, and I think a lot of us don't talk about it. Okay, although yes, it is a leadership position. However, the mindset has to be there when you're in these leadership positions, specifically the director of nursing. Okay, why? Because you're responsible for the entire nursing department. And do you know what that means? Okay, that means that you are responsible for that mental and emotional, right? That psychological aspect of your employees and your staff. I mean, your residents, their families. Okay, so you're going to be dealing with a lot of personality traits, and that's a big factor when it comes to the role. Okay, now I don't think we really talk about the emotional effect that it can have on us. All right, so I wanted to talk about a couple things that you can expect. All right, now I put together this Dio and Strong notebook. All right, and I don't know if you can see or not, but I'm going to read off of it what it says. Okay, you have to be patient, honest. You're going to be kind, busy. You're going to be a daughter, a provider, a nurturer, a coach, a mediator, a therapist, a housekeeper, an expert, a caretaker, a companion, an advocate. These are all of the different areas that you're going to be taking on when you take on the position as a director of nursing. All right, and you can see it just doesn't encompass you coming into a facility and leading it from the clinical side, but you're going to have to actually tap into other areas because you're that go-to person. You're the go-to person when your staff has an issue. You're a go-to person when the residents has an issue. You're a go-to person when the resident's family has an issue, when your administrator has an issue. You're the go-to person, all right? And that can be really hard on us when it comes to our mental and emotional state. All right, so I wanted to say that because I'm hearing a lot of the burnout. Okay, it's just emotionally draining, right? Because you're not just dealing with your problems, you're dealing with other people's problems as well. All right, so we have to start thinking about the psychological aspect when we get into these positions. All right, other than that, you're essentially going to be responsible for like I said, the entire nursing department. And what does that look like for you? Okay, what to expect? You can expect to do the hiring, the education, the discipline, any disciplinary actions, be responsible for all of policies. If you work for a large corporation, you're not necessarily going to be creating policies, but you're going to implement policies. Okay, so a new regulation may come out. Your corporate company will say, okay, we're rolling this policy out because there were some changes made, and you as a nurse leader are then going to ensure that that policy has been put out effectively in your facility. Now, if you don't work for a corporate company and you work for a privately owned company, then yes, you are going to be responsible for creating those policies. Unless they have like a management company that oversees their clinical side, then you might not have to. But other than that, you are going to have to be responsible for creating. Okay, you're going to be responsible for quality care. Okay, what does that look like? What outcome are you going to produce as in this nurse leadership position? All right, you're responsible for meetings. You're going to be responsible for learning. Okay, you as a nurse leader, you have to learn. Okay, there shouldn't be any time when you're not learning. All right, I don't care how small it is. Okay, the more you know, the more you're going to grow. Okay, not only that you grow, but your team grows. Meaning that information that you soak up or you feed yourself, that same information is what you want to have trickle down to your team. Okay, you're expected to manage. Okay, you need to be able to manage your facility. You need to be able to manage your staff. What does that look like for you? Okay, do you know what type of leader you are? All right, that's going to play a big role in how successful you're going to be in a DON position. Okay, because as a leader, remember, the director isn't there to do all the work. The director is there to direct, okay, which is why it's called the director of nursing, okay? The director needs to be able to delegate, okay? They need to be able to follow through. They need to be able to identify areas of opportunity and put people in those positions to meet those needs. So the burnout comes when we're doing all of the work, okay? When every time that phone rings, we're saying, oh, hello, yeah, Okay, I'll be right there. Every time you get an email, then you're stopping. All right, that's where the burnout comes in at. Okay, so as the leader, you have to be able to be organized. You have to be able to prioritize. Okay, and you have to be able to delegate. All right, you cannot do it all. Okay, that's why it's important to have certain people who are stronger than you on your team. Okay, to carry out those functions. All right, you're going to be responsible for, like I said, anything on the clinical side in your facility. All right, you're expected to work 40 hours a week. Sometimes you're going to work more than 40 hours a week. Okay, and if you're going into a position and you're accepting an interview, then I highly recommend you set those boundaries and make sure you go back and watch the video I put out on salary. So if you're working more than 40 hours a week, and I would say 50, okay? Hit or miss 50, right? But anytime you're going over that 50 hours, you need to start thinking about compensation. You need to start thinking about bonuses, anything to have, so that you can be paid for those hours that you have to work. Because the director of nursing, it is expected for you to be responsible 24/7, okay? A prime example of when I was in the facility setting, my ADON, my last position, my ADON, we had a thing. If I knew he called me 2 times, then I knew I needed to answer my phone. Okay? I will always leave a list of what they needed to call me for that was urgent. Okay? They would text me and say, hey boss lady, this is what's going on. But other than that, if I knew that my phone rang 2 times, then I knew I needed to answer the call. And that really helped me cut down on the anxiety I would get every time my phone would ring. All right? Because you're responsible 24/7, and when you don't answer, then you have your administrator, calling you. Why aren't you responding? But when you develop a system in your facility with your team, such as your ADONs, your unit managers, your staff educators, anybody who's in your clinical side on, hey, this is how I'm running my facility, this is a team effort, and these are the things that I like to be notified on, and you make sure you have that call rotation. That's going to really reduce the burnout that you have in these positions, okay? Because we are responsible 24/7. All right, you are responsible for producing survey outcomes. Okay, you are responsible to being able to manage the survey. Okay, and what does that mean? How do you manage a survey? By being prepared. Okay, preparation and planning produces positive outcomes. So you want to be able to manage the survey and being survey ready every day, not just in your survey window. So when you do have your survey, everybody isn't trembling over their feet. Okay, it should be natural. It should be a natural state. Okay, because once you become consistent in doing the same thing every day, it's going to be second nature for you. Okay, the state's going to pop up and you're going to be like, oh yeah, come on in. Have a seat. And you're going to know exactly, all right, here, this is the list of the things that you want, because you're going to be prepared. Okay, if you need help with that, definitely take the survey prep course, because I cover all of that in the survey prep course. Everything for you to be ready for surveys in the survey prep course. Okay, so those are the things that you are expected to know to be as a DON. All right, so remember, when you get in this position, you're wearing a lot of hats. What I can say is, when you do accept a position, set the boundaries. Okay, set the boundaries with your administrator and your staff. But it is important. It is important that everything doesn't deserve 100% of your attention. Okay? Okay, you really have to think about that. Okay, it might deserve 100% of attention of another staff member, but not necessarily your attention. And that's where a lot of people, that's where the burnout comes in. Because like I said, you answering, you're responding. As soon as somebody knocks at the door, you stop to go do that. You really have to know how to manage that. Okay, prioritize, delegate. All right, you don't have to respond to everything. That's what your team is for. You are to direct and be that support person that they need. Okay, so like and comment. Definitely subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you need help developing into the role as a DON, let me know. Okay, I absolutely love helping my DONs be successful in their role, and I'm the advocate for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to tell you, no, don't take that position if it's going to burn you out. You're working 80 hours a week. You haven't had any days off. I'm not going to promote that. I want to promote your health and wellness. Okay, I'm going to promote you making sure you have work-life balance. I'm going to promote and advocate for you loving and enjoying what you're doing. All right, and taking care and understanding that you have, yes, you're responsible 24/7, but at the same time, you also have a family, and they need you as well. Okay, so I hope you like this video, and let me know if you would like any more tips.